Jacoby do the happy dance.
Hey everybody! Welcome back to MK Quilts. I'm looking at the clock and yes, we're just a few minutes late. Promised you we'd be on live today at 2 o'clock. So Mr. MK, do you have your phone on you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, just hop on over to the sim group, would you please, and make sure that there isn't anybody waiting to join the group who wanted to join us. Because I put out some teaser posts today, didn't I, about this live feed today. So I want to make sure that everybody got into the group that wanted to be into the group. And boy, there was probably 30 new people just this morning. So I'm seeing a bunch of you jump on, and that's great. Some people reached out to me and said they couldn't catch it live, but they were super excited to watch later. So hey, everybody, I'm kind of seeing names scroll by. So welcome, and hello. So I'm just going to give just a few more seconds. Let Paul check the group, make sure that everybody...
Tammy wants to join. So she's
awesome.
There we go.
Awesome. So while Mr. MK is checking that and making sure that everybody's on, let me just go ahead with some introductory comments, and I'm just going to start out by saying welcome. So there was a bunch of new people that joined the group this morning, and I'm so thrilled, happy to have you. I did a post on the board this morning, just kind of another brief introduction to myself, but let me just say for those new people who are just stumbling across me now, my full name is Melissa Krushwitz. That is very much of a mouthful, so it's kind of one of the reasons why I go by MK. It's just easier, and we are coming to you from inside of my working studio here in the west central part of Florida. Okay, so I am in Palm Harbor. Basically, that's west of Tampa. Okay, so across Tampa Bay to the west, and that's where I'm coming to you right now. I have been a handy quilter girl for just over 10 years. And now we're retailers, and but basically, you guys, my focus is training, and I focus on Pro Stitcher. I love Pro Stitcher. It's what I've built my business around, and I really am not much of a free motion girl. I mean, I can do a few things, and I know that I should probably practice with that more, but I love my Pro Stitcher. So welcome to all the new people. Just kind of as an FYI, I mentioned it in the post, but on this board, we share everything to do with Pro Stitcher. Now, it's kind of a focus with simulation and how my take on simulation and how it's transformed the way that I quilt here in my studio. But I also want to let you know that it is my own personal board. Paul and I are the admins, and so we take advantage of that in that we use it as a platform to keep you informed about other things that we have going on here with MK Quilts. So anything and everything Pro Stitcher related, and then of course just kind of as a platform to keep you abreast of what I've got going on here, and we're happy to have you along for the ride. Okay, so I have like 3 sheets of paper today to get through, so let's get started so that we can get to this huge big announcement. I'm just over the moon excited. Okay, so I wanted to start out with a little bit of a recap. Where have I been? What have I been up to? Well, I was playing catch up this week because I had been on the road for 9 days traveling. I was up in Virginia with a new owner of ours doing training with her, and then we had a private group of owners that came in for my sim style layout and rendering classes. And just because, again, we have so many new people, if you, after this live feed, go on and, search more about me and go on my website, you will see that I do these events at different locations, and I call them my layout and rendering or my sim series classes. And basically, you guys, this is my take on simulation, is I use simulation to help me prep myself for quilting. Okay, so I get all of my stuff that I'm working on for a quilt, I get that set up ahead of time. I do that all on my simulation on a laptop, put everything on a little USB drive, walk over here to the machine, plug it in, and I am ready to stitch. So that is what I teach teach online. That's what I teach when I'm on the road. You're welcome to make an appointment to come here with me for private education. And so that is my focus, okay? And that's what I was doing in Virginia. Then I went to Tulsa for a different event. I also sell lipstick and cosmetics, but we're not talking about that today. But that's what I was in Tulsa for, okay? So that was a whirlwind trip, and I've been quilting like a mad woman this week because in a little over a week, I'm going to be on the road again. Doing some teaching in Georgia and in North Carolina. So that was the next thing on my list, is that we have a brand new upcoming events tab on my website. So if you hop on over there, Mr. MK did a fantastic job. And by the way, this is my husband, Paul, and my beautiful little dog, Samson. And I affectionately call him Mr. MK, and he doesn't mind that. I don't think. Do you, hun? Okay.
No.
So he updated the website. Every place where I'm going to be from now to the end of the year is on the website. But my 2 upcoming events that I have this month are coming up very, very soon. Next weekend, I am going to be doing a piecing class here locally in Florida. And I still have some spots for that. So go ahead and check that out. If you're in Florida and you want to come for a piecing class, I'm going to be doing that next weekend. Then after that, I am going to be traveling to Georgia. That's going to be a lecture and a trunk show at a friend of mine with her quilt guild. I think they are called the Apple Country Quilt Guild, and they are in Ellijay, Georgia. That is not Pro Stitcher or simulation related. That's just me talking about my quilting journey. I'm going to have a bunch of my work with me and a lecture and trunk show, okay? And then I'm going to continue up the freeway up into North Carolina, where I'm going to be at a shop, Walker Quilt Company. They are partnered with a Handy Quilter location there in Franklin, North Carolina, and I do believe that session is probably getting pretty close to being full. So head on over to my website. It'll link you to their shop, and if you're interested in catching me in Franklin, North Carolina, you can register with that shop, okay? All right, so then, yep, that's the end of that page. Okay. One thing I wanted to mention, there has been a lot of chatter, again, just recently about should I update to the new version of Pro Stitcher Premium or should I continue to wait? And I have mentioned this before. Paul and I have a little bit different opinion about that. I update all the way, or all the time, okay? So anytime an update comes out, I update. Paul is kind of on the side of, well, you know, you could just wait a little bit and let some other people work the bugs out. Well, I'm telling you, this latest update with Premium has been a really good one. It's been out since the beginning of April, so we've had well over a month now, a month and a few days, and I think it's a great update. So I say update. There was some fixes in there, and just get over your fear, right? The other thing that I wanted to mention is that I personally keep all of the old updates, and as a matter of fact, you can get other versions, the older versions, on Handy Quilter's website, so you can always roll back to a previous version if you're just unsure about things. So, hey Jeannie, so don't worry about it. Just give it a try and see, just see what it's all about. All right. Let's see. Okay, so do that, keep the old versions, yes. Okay, so on my little sheet right here, it says saving the best for last. So I wanted to, oh yes, saving Mr. MK for last. So I wanted to start out this little segment, this big announcement of ours, with asking you a couple of questions. So first of all, are you a Pro Stitcher, a computerized quilter, who has only a few patterns in your collection? Maybe just the ones that came with your machine and they're there and that's what you're starting with. Or are you a quilter, a computerized quilter who's been at it for a while, like me, 10 years. I know some of you watching been doing it a lot longer than that. And you have collected thousands of patterns and digitized designs. Literally thousands, right? I know I have. And what is your current plan right now for organizing those, and how do you work with your patterns? If you're like me, you get to a point where you almost don't even know what you have. You've been purchasing and purchasing and purchasing, and pretty soon you're like, what actually do I have? You know, there's probably stuff that I own, and I'm talking about me. There's probably stuff that I own that I've forgotten about. Maybe I haven't, you know, organized it well. I don't have a printout of it. And there's probably things that I could be using that I don't even remember that I had. So I guess maybe if you think about those questions, you are getting the idea about what we are announcing today. So the thing that we're announcing today was something that we have been wanting to do, but we thought that it would be done much further down the road because we're pretty busy doing what we got. But my loving husband, Mr. MK, took it upon himself to push this to the top of our to-do list. And let me tell you what, he and the people that he has been working with, our developer on this new product, this new piece of software, have absolutely knocked it out of the park. So I'm so very, very excited to announce to you today that we have developed a piece of software, and it's called Quilt Pattern Indexer. Do I have that right, babe?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So what it is, you guys, is it is a product that is meant to help you kind of bring together all of the stuff that you may have purchased over the years and give you a format to view it and to be able to pick this and pick that and pick this and pick that you might want to work on a quilt and pick those, 5 or 10 or 15 things and be able to put that into a folder or on a USB drive, work with it on your simulator or work with it on your tablet and have that be a simple process, okay? Now, there are some other products that have been on the market or are there currently, and and we're not here to say anything bad about anybody. We're just here to let you know that we have heard the call for a piece of software, a product that, let me just go through the list of things that were kind of what we wanted to build into something when Paul started with the developer on this, okay? So we wanted it to be pretty simple, okay? We didn't want it to be so overwhelmingly complicated that you weren't even going to try it. We wanted it to be image and keyword based. And by that I meant I want to have something that you can see a picture of it and be able to maybe identify it with a keyword so that you can easily get to it later. Paul, you looked like you wanted to say something.
Nope.
No.
I'm laughing at Pamela and some of this stuff
okay.
scrolling by. They're hitting on me.
I get on a roll and I'm so excited about this. Can you tell? Okay, the other thing, we wanted it, of course, to be user friendly. We didn't want it to be, again, so complicated that you couldn't figure it out. We wanted it so that you could use it on your laptop or on a PC and or on your tablet at your machine, okay? And we wanted it, above all, to be at a reasonable price point, okay? We didn't want it to make it so expensive that you were like, yeah, I would love that, but, that's a lot of money, So those were kind of some of the things that we thought about. Paul, you want to add anything else?
No, I did talk to Handy Quilter just to make sure that they weren't doing anything that would make this one useless. And also, we do not do anything to the patterns. Don't touch the patterns. We are a viewer. So it is safe to put on your tablet if you'd like to do so, which we will demonstrate shortly.
And the last thing is I want to give a shout out. There have been a handful of you who agreed to help us be beta testers for this. So you guys, like I say, I had been traveling. I hadn't even myself had an opportunity to get my hands in there and really truly test it. And those of you, you know who you are. Thank you for that. You helped us work through so many bugs. You helped us help the developer make it a better product from the beginning, all right? The other thing that I want to say that it's not, a couple of things that it's not. Like Paul said, it's not a program that's going to allow you to alter your patterns in any way, shape, or form, okay? Whatever you own, either whatever came with your system or things that you have purchased, it's just a way of indexing those, of kind of helping you with some organization and be able to view that and keyword it so that you can use your items. The other thing that it is not, in and of itself, is an organization or a file management program. You already have to have formulated some sort of a plan about how you organize and store patterns either on your hard drive, on an external drive, whatever it is that you do. There are ways built into the product that it can go out and look at those locations and look at those folders where you have things stored, but you have to have them stored. Okay, so if you are new to this whole ball game, come up with a plan now and make sure that you work this from the beginning. Yes, he's got his hand raised.
We are going to put out training videos on this product, as well as suggested best practices, which Melissa may not agree with me on. I'll share mine. Everybody needs to learn and set up their own process. So this is a tool. We will show you how to use the tool, but you're allowed to work different ways. So
all right.
Is it like iPattern Studio? It does some of what they do. We, here again, tried to make it simple. I made certain things bigger. You'll see it. We need to...
And I don't normally do this. You can keep talking, Paul, okay, if you want. I want to go back and see if 4 years collecting, if there's any questions that we should just kind of address right now. All of you are saying yes, yes, yes. So excited. Great.
And I want to say that this weekend is what I'm calling an open beta. So I'm offering some discounts, which we will give you the website here shortly. So you can get $50 off, and for this weekend, any feedback that you get has a good chance of being fixed or enhanced, potentially implemented into the final version, which will be out early next week. And at that point, the price will go up a little bit, but let me say, you don't need to buy this to try it. You will have, come next week, 14 days the program will run without a license, so you can play with it, and if you find you need it,
awesome, isn't it?
Then you can go and buy a very simple key to activate it, and then it's yours, and you can put it on multiple systems. I would recommend having it on your simulation system where you keep your patterns and things. We're going to demonstrate putting it on the tablet today just because it's here.
Okay, so there was, as I scrolled back, so does this have HQ's blessing? What we will say about that is we did reach out to them, like Paul said, and they knew what we were doing. They helped us just a little bit. They answered some questions, and so they absolutely, we just reached out to them again this morning. So that's that. Will it work with the encrypted patterns? Okay, so this is something, it's out of my league, Paul.
It actually, in the instructions, I put that in big red. None of these third-party applications can work with encrypted patterns. They have to be in an unencrypted state or they can't read them. And so that's the challenge. If you can unencrypt it on the machine that you're running the program, it depends how the encryption works. But yeah,
So I know that one, the Quilt Dream, the Sweet Dream Studio, I know that is one for myself that I reached out to them just recently because I wanted to be able to see the patterns on both my machines and my simulator, and they worked with me on that, but like Paul says, I'm not exactly sure. So stay tuned on that one as far as whether we can get that synced up or working well with what we're offering.
And I may look into, if they provide an image in their file directory, we could detect that it's encrypted and go looking for that image. We can't read the file, but we may be able to display the image.
Okay, so that's good. Would it work on a Mac?
Only if you're running Parallels or some sort of PC emulator. We're not going to, at this time, compile for the Mac.
Okay, so I think I'm through to the bottom of the questions. Okay, so thanks to the beta testers, and that was the last of what I had on the sheet. So again, like Paul said, you guys, my whole approach with how I have been working with what I have had is to be able to work with that on my laptop. And when a person or a client comes in, I sit down at my laptop, they look over my shoulder, and we were able to look through things that I had, and they might say, yep, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one, and we were able to just kind of keyword it while she's standing right there. And then when we're all done, you know, auditioning and looking at things, we're able to pull up that grouping and say yes or eliminate. And then she kind of zeroes in on what she likes. And then I'll say, okay, I've got it from here. I export those onto a USB drive. I work with it on my simulation. And then ultimately I take that to the tablet. So although we're going to show you how to put this on the tablet, I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm probably not going to use it heavily at my tablet. That's just me. That's how I roll. But we wanted to show it to you because you obviously can do it. All right, so we're going to put Samson down. And we're going to do this over here on the Fusion. Hopefully we can get this close enough where you can see. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and reduce my screen there for a second.
Isn't that an amazing thread wall you have back there?
Oh gosh, yeah. Can you see my, well, the tablet's kind of in the way. While I was gone, Mr. MK organized all my thread for me. Oh my gosh.
I apologize for the poor imitation of Melissa on Friday.
It's glorious. Okay, so Paul, make sure that you're walking through this with me. On this flash drive is a copy of the executable file for Quilt QPI setup, and it's a beta version with a version number right now, right? We're good so far? Now, one thing Paul wanted me to mention is that on some of your tablets, especially if they're older ones, this file management screen might not pop up automatically. You might have to go and find that on your system by swiping in or swiping up. Okay? All right, so then you can either double click or click and hold. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to try to double click. It comes up with, Paul, why don't you go ahead and talk through as I'm doing this.
All right, so just to be legal in the U.S., I do have an end-user license agreement there. It's just like every other one you never read.
Okay, so I accept.
Just accept the defaults. It's going to load it like any other program, and it loads so fast. Now, right here, on most machines, the checkbox to create a desktop icon is already checked.
Okay, so we want a desktop icon so it's easy for us to see. Tells you where it's going to be located, see program files, and the name QPI, and then we'll install.
Done.
Wow, that was fast. Finish, yes?
Yep, and it will automatically start. So what this first screen will pop up, until you activate it, license it, it will pop up and tell you how many days left you have. For the beta code, for this weekend, I've got it set to only 2 days. Come Monday or Tuesday when we post the final version, it will give you 14 days. So you can just click OK to start using it.
But it's going to be available for them as of today, right?
This is posted already on the www.quiltpatternindexer.com.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and launch it.
So it goes in and it looks at what is in the default directories for patterns.
And I'm going to go ahead and maximize our screen here so it's full screen.
Okay. So on the left side, this is sort of your tree pane. If you open up your pattern folder directory here, right now you go ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to go to Seed Designs because our Seed Designs folder, you guys remember, that's the folder with patterns that come from Handy Quilter, right? Now I have some accidentally at my root C drive. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up because I don't need those on my tablet. But underneath here are all of the pattern folders that came with the system. Okay, so all of those wonderful designers, some of our own, Linda Goslin, Mary Beth, Susan Manry, all those wonderful designers who donated patterns to be included with the Pro Stitcher.
Why don't you show me a couple of these? I might want to put them on my quilt.
Well, as you guys know, I work a lot with Christy Dillon on my creative studio. So there is a picture of all of her items. Now, if you wanted to keyword it right here at the machine, you could do that. You could pick, let's say you love that block a lot. Let's say it's one of your favorites. You can even just click and hold and say add to favorites, and that'll add that block to your favorites. Now, if you wanted to, you could hook up a mouse and a keyboard and work with this standing right here. And you could absolutely do that. Now, you will notice that the only thing on my system right now that's being indexed or found on my tablet is only what came with my Pro Stitcher. I don't have any of my other stuff on my tablet currently. I'm going to be working with Mr. MK to figure out if that's a good plan for me. But again, I have thousands, and I'm just not sure that I want all of that on my tablet. But he has made it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around so you can see me again. He has built in some things into the program so that it's easy for you to copy stuff from one location to the other. Anything else that I'm forgetting, hun?
No, we're going to have other videos on this, but I mean,
he's built in, made it easy for you to make a backup, things like that. So, Paul and I were just talking. We kind of had a commitment this weekend that I have just politely bowed out of because we want to spend this weekend doing some training and screen capture and just showing you the ways that I work with it, some of the things that the beta testers, how they've been working with it. And so we're really committed to doing some short snippet videos this weekend so that you can see it in action, okay? But it's available for you right now to download. I will say this, and this is like full disclosure, I didn't even read the instructions, okay? Okay, so I just kind of dived right in, and then of course I'm asking Mr. MK all these questions, and he's like, did you read the instructions? And I'm like, yeah, no. So here's the thing, you guys. Mr. MK is the brains behind this, but he's not going to just be able to be 100% available 100% of the time. Probably if you go in to the instructions and actually read it, you'll pick up a lot.
Okay, so you can click the help support menu thing, and it will take you, as long as you're on the internet, you can't do it from your machine, to the website where we have the support page. At the top of the support page, there's a link to a Facebook group that has been started. And like Melinda, I see you there. You know, a lot of these women that have helped me make this as good as it is are members of that page. And so that's a good place to actively discuss this, ask questions, and from that, I will build it into the manual, the instructions that are there, as well as build onto the FAQ, which means frequently asked questions. So let's, at least this weekend especially, don't be calling for support. Let's go to the Facebook group, get on there, post it, share your ideas and things. And this, by the way, you can export and import other people's keywords and things. So that's one way where even if you sit at your computer and build up some keyword mapping, you can export it from that computer, bring it over here, and import it into your tablet if you wanted to have that same functionality there. Now, what's really neat is you can merge multiple people's keywords if you want, and even if you get rid of the pattern or the pattern's not there, it doesn't matter. The database keeps track of those keywords until you delete them.
I'm super excited about that because I've been using this other product for a long time, and I've got loads of keywords that are helpful to me, and I'd be happy to share those with you. You may have stuff that makes sense in your head, but if I see what you've been doing, then I'll be like, oh, I might want to adopt that or adapt that into my studio. So, again, you guys, I really, really, really want to reiterate, we are trying to keep it simple. It is purposefully simple. We are not making it so that you can change patterns and do other things, change them in any way. That's not what this is for. And the other thing is, we are not in the business of sharing patterns with everybody. Okay, this is meant for you to use with what you have legally purchased. Okay, it's not anything about that.
Oh, one thing I have seen on Melissa's USB drives is she will take a Panto or something and turn it, well, you've seen her classes, and then she'll save it under a customer's name, and those are actually, they're legal patterns to use, but being able to find those again and be able to go back so you don't have to recreate that is going to be very helpful as well, because it will index your customers or your custom directories as well. Just go to settings, say I want to monitor this folder, and it will add the directory to the tree there. So you'll find a lot of ways to use this. Please comment it about it on the Facebook group.
Yeah, one of the things that was super important for me was to be able to do multiple selecting and putting keywords on multiple things at one time. So we feel like we're at a pretty good level for this launch that we're going to do. We probably at some point, just like anything else, may look to build other functionality into it. For right now, the pattern formats that are being covered are HQF, HQV, and QLI. That's it, right?
Yes, however, if you save a work area, it'll also try and display the work area as an image. Now, you can turn that off through settings as well and say, I don't need to view those. So as we build into it, though, I mean, QLI is sort of a standard, you know? So you can turn things on and off whether you want to view them or not. Now, like she said, this was not a cheap endeavor. I even gave up personal hygiene for a couple days to get this thing done. So it was a major effort.
He's got a.
I am not a super programmer, so I had to pay somebody to do this. So we will always be looking at, like, compiling for Mac. The dollar signs just aren't there, I'm sorry. But we will take feedback, and serious feedback. We might be able to tweak the quality of the images because we have to parse these files and do all this technical stuff, but please don't be shy. I've had a lot of fun with the ladies. Price.
So if you go over onto the website, probably going to land right in the $150 range ultimately for this weekend.
All right, so this weekend for $99.95, if you buy your activation license this weekend, it'll work for all the major version 1 releases. Right now, looking at the price, comparing it, we're less than half the price of any of the other tools out there right now. We don't do everything they do, but that's a price range. So we won't go above $150. Whether we're going to offer discounts periodically, we don't know. But I think it's a good value. This weekend, $99.95.
So there you have it. And I just, as we were talking about things, you guys, I just wanted to tell you, Paul and I just want to tell you guys, wow. I mean, a huge wow on all of you who all have picked up my video content and ordered up those USB sticks. We were just really blown away with what the need was, or the desire was, to have that as an offline type of a thing. You know, the online versions, the rental stuff, that is still there. That's how we want you to initially get your content from me. But it became so loudly clear to us that you wanted that offline option, that you wanted those in your hot little hands. So that is an ongoing thing, you guys. For those of you who are new, all of this layout and rendering stuff that I've been talking about, I have those as videos for rent. It's a 3-year rental period, and if you just want to rent it and watch it online, you got great internet, you don't need a hard copy, then you just do the rental. But if you want it on a USB stick, we can download anything that you have rented onto that stick and mail it to you. All of that is on my website.
Harriet, this is less than a meg size file, so if you're downloading anything and this is taking a long time or loading, there's probably antivirus or something going on. You just saw how quickly it installed. Boom, boom, boom. You can have it in there in less than 30 seconds. So I saw that question come by.
Okay, good.
We'll try and help you out, especially during this debug period. I want to catch anything that isn't working.
Yep. Okay, so that's it, you guys. Are you excited? Drop me some hearts right now and some thumbs up. Come on, let's see those hearts. Yay, and the crowd goes wild. So we're super excited about this. It's something that is so basically functional that we all can use in our studios, and I'm just super, super duper excited about it. All right, so as with all my live feeds, I like to end by showing you what's on the frame. Over on this side today, what do we got? Oh, we got a big old blue piece of fabric. That's because what is over here is top secret. I'm quilting on something that can't be shown right now, but it is from my friend and designer, Deb Heatherly. This was the book that she just came out with about a month ago, and I have this for sale on my website along with the ruler that goes with it, Creative Grids ruler. So pick this up, you guys. Her methods and these rulers that she has developed make your piecing, I I mean, when I piece her stuff, or when I quilt her stuff, it's just like a long armer's dream come true. All right, so over here on this side on McFusion, I have a beautiful, it's kind of a free-form slice and dice quilt, and right now you're looking at piecing that's very large, but she has graduated the piecing. So on top it's large, and then it kind of flows into like smaller piecing, and by the time it gets to the bottom of the quilt, the piecing's real small. The colors on that one are just beautiful. All right, you guys, that is what we got for you today. This was the biggest live feed ever. I've been watching the numbers. So thank you guys. Spread the word. Like I said, this is my group, so we're allowed to kind of self-promote ourselves here. I don't like to bomb and blast, and I've been actually asked not to in some of the other groups, but what we have to offer is for you know, all Pro Stitcher owners, Baby Lock owners that have Pro Stitchers on their systems. So please, we appreciate when you share this information. Certainly it's a win-win for all of us, right? Okay, you guys, thank you so much for being a follower. Thanks for all of your business. Thanks for joining us today. Go out there and enjoy your weekend. Join that Facebook group. We'll allow you in right away and start playing with this. And I hope that you find that it's as awesome as we have. All right, from all of us and my studio to yours, happy quilting. Bye-bye.